Hello everybody and welcome back to my Let's Play of Aurora 4X. I of course am Sir Bedian and I will be showing around. So at the moment we are waiting for our magnetic confinement fusion drive tech, our compressed carbon armor and our fire control 6250 techs. So basically just the core technologies that are going to be um, providing the backbone for our next generation of fleets, uh, abandoned infrastructure, and a mine. Not too bad. Um, so we're just hammering out. So I am using 30 days, but practically speaking, we're not really running 30 days because we're getting lots and lots of interrupts along the way. But we're making more progress than doing 5-day cycles at least. Construction factory on cans. Cool. How far off? So we are currently end of April. We are waiting for late May, early June. So we're about a month off now. Okay. I'm gonna have to switch to 5-day cycles now so that we don't go too far. We have a new system. System Musgrave out of Darwin. So here we are. We have Windsor out here, so we're going to let George do a little survey there on their own. We'll switch to 5-day cycles now as we slowly creep towards our base technologies. We're going to have to find somewhere to put our scientists, but they'll be going into researching components anyway, so um, we have places to stick them. All right, skipping ahead. Mhm. 12th of May. Uh, 17th of May. Almost. Almost there. 22nd of May. All right, we should. And Kansai 1 has become an imperial population. So Kansai 1 is now a fully functional zero colony. Doesn't matter. So we should get compressed carbon and fire control, or at the very least compressed carbon armor from this cycle. Bingo, there we are. All right, so we got compressed carbon armor. That is going to be a very nice turnout for our armor technology. Next up will be the fire control speed rating, which will assist with our flak-based point defenses. And also with our beam weapons, right? Because at the moment we need a 4 times multiplier for our beam weapons. If we can get the fire control speed rating, we might be able to work with only a 2 or a 3. And then we can use smaller beam fire controls. I mean, yeah, they're not that big to begin with, but any reduction in tonnage is an improvement. Anyway, so that's engines and fire control. So that is all of our core technologies. So we'll strip this down and let's go design some components. So first up, we need some new. No, we'll work sensors based on range. So let's do beam fire controls. Okay. So as it stands, we have 6250 and 48 kilometers. So we need some. No, we need to know what the range on. We're making maximum range anyway. Max range is usually the best option because even if your weapons can't reach that far, which they usually can, but even if they can't reach that far, um, if you get closer, the accuracy gets better. So even if your weapons can't reach as far as your fire control can, once they can reach, once the target does get close enough, then the accuracy will be better. All right, and you'll get better accuracy at the ranges that the weapons can actually reach. So speed. So we got 6250. That's enough for some, but we want it to be a little bit better. Let's go for two times, 1250. This will provide almost perfect accuracy against most ships that we come across, and we're only 200 tons. Compared to previously, we had to use four times, and that's just 400 tons. So yeah, two times beam fire control is what we're after, which is excellent. We don't have any hardening tech because most enemies don't use microwaves anyway, and we are using standard fire controls. So, um, what should we call this one? Let's do uh, beam tech. So the recorder again stopped recording for no reason that I can find halfway through the development of technologies. So I'm going to run through the design process again. I've already got them all, but I'll run through the design again. Um, I've also taken steps to change the hotkeys around, so hopefully it won't stop again. But anyway, so for our standard beam fire control, we did the maximum range with twice the tracking speed for tracking of ships and the long range of the guns. For our point defense fire control, I did the standard range because it gives us still a good accuracy at 10,000 kilometers and four times tracking speed. So we have the maximum bonus against missiles. Um, so those are the settings there. For our EM detection sensors and thermal sensors, I just made two types, size 2 sensors. Um, we didn't do any high power microwaves. I did set up a Gauss cannon of 100% size for new point defenses because it fires an additional shot compared to our other ones, which means more missiles to be shot down. Didn't do jump engines. Lasers are pretty much straightforward. So we set the 25 centimeter and an advanced spinal one. So 5 power per laser, depending on how many lasers we end up putting on our ship. That's how much power we'll design our power plants for. I might make a 10 power one actually. What kind of power do we want? With one of these, we have a power output of 5. With one of these, we can power 2 lasers per power plant and still get one hit kill for a reactor. And then it's just 10 for each size. We don't get another hit to kill until here. So with this power plant, we can power 8 lasers. That's a fair amount. That's a lot of lasers. But no, I'll do a 10 size one. There we go. So 2 lasers per power plant. Um, yeah. So unfortunately, you missed shields. So I'll cover shields. So with shields, you've got three factors. You've got the shield type, the regeneration rate, and the consumption. So the consumption, there's literally no reason to have it anything less than best because it burns fuel. But the fuel use is per day, and if your combat lasts more than a day, then you're probably doing something wrong. And ships should have fuel in the tens or hundreds of thousands of liters. So the fuel use for your shields, it's really not going to break your fuel bank, especially if you only turn them on before combat and then turn them off immediately after. Um, the other two are a little bit more interesting. So the shield regeneration rate is how many shield points each shield generator will recharge over a 300-second period, so over a 5-minute period. All right, so with shield regen rate of 3, it will recharge 3 points per shield generator per 300 seconds, or 1 point per 100 seconds, or 100th of a point per second. All right. Um, with a lower regeneration rate, it makes the shield generator a little bit cheaper, but it decreases how fast it regenerates. All right. It doesn't change how much fuel it uses. The shield strength is the maximum shield strength. So once again, this is multiplied by the number of generators you put on your ship, and it plays no impact whatsoever on the size of the shield generator. It does change how much fuel it uses, though. So if you have a large ship with lots of fuel and you're not scrabbling for fuel, then a max generator with a fast recharge, with a max recharge rate is the way to go. However, if you're really scrabbling for fuel, then it might be worth it to have less shield strength, but a much less thirsty generator. And you can see it doesn't really matter though, right? Because to get the same strength out of them, um, it's about the same fuel, right? So 96 times 3 is about 280, right? And three strength 1 generators are going to be far more expensive. So 8, 16, 24, I think it is, compared to 12, right? So 3 of these will be twice as expensive as 1 of these. You do save on crew though. No, you don't save on crew because there's only 1 crew for this generator and 3 crews for 3 of these. So yeah, it's just better overall. It automatically selects the best possible technologies. So determining what kind of shield generator you're using is really comes down to what shield generator technologies you have. So we've thrown together best possible shields. The strength of the shields is also ultimately determined by how many generators you put on your ship. And we will see those stats once they come up. So, have I done the first day cycle? I think I have. Yeah, it's fun. So we're currently grinding out our fire controls and our power plants. We're getting our prototype. All right, missile engines. I made a bunch of missile engines, and a bunch of ship engines. So we have a size 50. I'll get stuff from the top. So this is a prototype fusion drive for our missile, with a 6-hour multiplier for maximum possible speed. Um, we might fiddle with this value when we start making the missiles, but at the moment we're just going to use it 6 times. We've got a standard 0.2550 commercial drive, just the basics size 50 commercial drive. We've got a fighter drive with a 3 times speed multiplier and a 200-ton engine, so that gives a 300 EP. And then we have 4 capital drives. So we have a size 50 1 multiplier with a general purpose drive with no 1.2 multiplier general purpose drive with a 0.315 fuel usage. So it provides a little bit more power and a little bit less fuel consumption than our current military engines. We also have a high power engine with a 2 times multiplier, but substantially more fuel usage for when we need to make smaller ships that go really fast. We have a um, smaller, so a smaller scale engine. So this is a size 32 engine with a times 1 multiplier. So it uses about the same fuel, but a little bit less engine power. So we'll see it. We'll see about it. And we also have a size 51 times multiplier, more efficient engine with zero point 0.2 fuel usage, but a little bit less power. So this one we might stick on things that need to go a little bit further, like maybe a mine layer or something, but we'll see. So we've got our fire controllers and our EM sensors lined up as well. So that is the plan. So we'll do 5 days. We'll grind out our engine and fire control technology. Then we'll do our extra magazine. A magazine, I've gone for the same size with a one less hit to kill, because we're not getting shot at very much. Our missile boats are fairly well protected at the moment. So same size, but smaller. It's also smaller. It's I think one hull size, so 50 ton per magazine smaller. So we can get the same capacity that we have at the moment, but it's going to be like 200 tons less per ship. It's not much, but every ton counts. All right, so that's a prototype drive done, so we can start going ahead and making our missiles. So let's start with the Arrow E. Okay, so at the moment, our Arrow E has these stats. Okay, no, it doesn't. It actually has better stats. But these are the stats that our improved Arrow E has with our current technology. Okay, um, so we have 14 damage warheads. We can probably reduce that to 6 for the 12. Actually, no. I like the 14. I want to get this up to about 20 damage if possible. Because with 20 damage, um, we start dealing more very reliable shock damage. So we'll see how we go. And we'll put in our prototype .75 engine. So let's do 10 of these. So we're already up to 34,000. So that's a substantially faster um, engine already. But we did have how many? What was the size of it? 2.6. So if we do 20 of these, we're doing 50,000 kilometers a second. That's excellent. Now we will need more fuel, so we'll throw in a little bit extra fuel. And let's see, 2 is up to 16. We have 22 maneuver. What's our accuracy like, right? Well, at 10,000 kilometers, we have 100% accuracy, so we can strip out a little bit of agility. That still gives us 100% accuracy against a 10,000 kilometer target. Um, that's awesome. That's great. And now we have a little more space for what happened there? 16, 16, 17, 18. Weird. Okay. Probably some kind of fractional going on. Can we do? Yeah, we can. Okay. So now we're almost equivalent in size. So we need to shrink it down a teensy little bit more. So let's go for 0.878. No, no, no. 978. There we go. Okay, so we have a size 6 missile doing 50,000 kilometers a second, which is almost twice as fast as our previous one, um, with a 100% hit rate at a 10,000 kilometer target, and auto guidance for our sensor, and we can probably maybe even shrink the sensor a little bit, 0.8. What's it doing? 0.8, here we go. 0.8 still gives us 3 million kilometers. That's a very long distance. We can shrink that. 1.2 million kilometers. Yeah, that's substantially distant. Oh wait. Whoops. 0.5. Okay. 160,000, can we work with that? 250,000. Now let's try and keep it about the same. Alright, we're gonna have to go with 0.1. Oh well, doesn't matter. We have a 0.1 sensor, and we have ourselves a size 6 missile that's going substantially faster. So what we need is we need a size 2 missile engine. So missile engine, and we're going maximum speed, and it is a size 2 engine. 2 MSP is here. Okay, so we are consuming 329 liters of fuel per hour. So what kind of fuel use do we have here? Would love to know what kind of fuel use it has. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to show it. We got endurance of 118. You know, we could probably figure it out. We're going to have to write these values down, though. So 2.25, 0.978, 0.6. Oh, sensor is the same. Okay. If we do... Okay, so that's 1,000. We got 48 minutes. So that means we are burning more than 1,000 liters of fuel per hour. Okay, so that's more than 1,000 liters. Um, this one burns 5,000 liters per hour. So we're probably not going to get this kind of range for a size 6. We have twice the fuel though. Okay, for 1,000 liters of fuel, we have 2,200. So for 1,000 liters of fuel, this thing does... You know what? Let's just put 978 back in, and we'll do this one back, put this one back in. Okay. So we have 2445 fuel. Okay. So 2445 fuel, and it burns 4946.46 liters per hour. Okay. And if we go to our calculator, so we got 494, no, 2445 divided by 4946.46 gives us that much of an hour. Times that by 60 to get minutes, and this to get seconds. So that gives us 1779 seconds, all right? And we are doing 50,000 kilometers per second. So that gives us a range of 100,000 million. That gives us a range of 88 million kilometers. That's not bad. What's the range on our missile right now? What's the range on the Arrow E? The Arrow E does 135 million kilometers. So we are going to be losing range. But in theory, it's not going to matter too much because although we are losing range, we are picking up a substantial amount of damage, a substantial amount of speed, and um, yeah, we're about doubling our damage and we're doubling our speed. So with the improved engines as well, we can get faster ships, and if we get faster ships, we can close that range and we can control that range, and the range of the missiles is not going to be as important. Um, I like this. I like this. I'm sure we can get it more optimal, but I like this. All right, let's go ahead and get the 15 EP magnetic fusion drive. So this is going to be a 15 EP times 6. Okay, yeah. So not really sure what's going on. It kept restarting. I believe it's related to the hotkeys that I'm actually using to record. Um, I've added another safety switch on it, so it should stop doing it now. It seems to happen primarily when I'm trying to type. Once again, probably linked to the recording buttons. But yeah, I'm going to have to completely change the hotkey if it keeps doing it. Um, Needless to say, we've designed the drivers. So I went with a 15 EP point 0.4 size and a 300 EP 2.25 size. These are the settings that I'm going to be using for the missiles, and the two engines are in development. So they're coming up next after, well, they're coming up now because the commercial engine is done. So I'll show you the actual final designs once I'm done. I'm not sure exactly how much of the design process has been lost, but yeah, it's just something I'm gonna have to deal with. Hopefully, it won't happen again in future episodes, but we'll have to see. I really wish I had a second monitor on this computer though. That would help a lot, but oh well. Anyway, Fletcher driver's done. Bullet driver is now beginning. So we'll get that one out real quick. I think our beam fire control is also almost done. That's going to take a little bit. Come on. There we go. Okay, so let's go do our missiles. So we've got, for our ASM, we have 2.25 for that. Okay, go away. Okay, 2.25 and 0.978 and 0.6, 0.1, and we have our one of our bullet drivers. So size 6, 89 million kilometers. I did the calculation and worked out to be about that. So that's as expected. We have fantastic speed and accuracy, so that's fine. And we will call it size 6 anti-ship missile bullet. Yes. Now, next, we are going to make our anti-missile. So that will be here. And we want a 0.13, a 0.01, 0.26, 0 sensor, and one of our flechette drivers. So this one does 90,000 kilometers a second with 36 maneuver, which means that it should get approximately 30 by 30, about 60% accuracy against a invader missile, I think, approximately. Might be a bit less than that. Let's find out. So 60,000 is the rough speed of an invader missile divided by 90,000, uh, multiplied by 34, 24%. Okay. Oh, yeah, about a quarter missile. So we would still have to use 45 to 4 to 1, but we don't have to. 35. Okay, let's see if we can still get a 6, get a little bit more fuel out of it. So the maneuver rating is what's important, right? So you can adjust your agility down. So if we do, no, we still need a 6. There we go. So this and this has the exact same accuracy, 324. It was 5.4. The reason why you get that extra 1% is because you've lost the tonnage. So if we put that back in, you see that the accuracy is pretty much the same. Um, we've lost a bit of accuracy because we lost a maneuver. So there we go. So now we have it, and, and it's probably only a couple of thousand kilometers, but it could make a difference. So we'll go ahead and we'll name this the Fluchet. All right, those are some pretty decent missiles. I like those. Our torpedoes could also do with improvement, but I'll do them later, as I'm probably running up on the limit of time as it's lost track. But that will do for now. So we'll start production on these missiles, and we will get these underway. I will put a break in the episode. Well, we need to research them first, but I'll put a break in the episode. As our technology advances, we will get our um, components done, and then we can start designing our warships again. So, thank you for watching. Sorry for the hassle. And next episode is comes tomorrow.